Welcome to another episode of URC Chumps, episode 77, and we are going. Unfortunately, the other two South Africans slash German um, haven't been able to make it today, unfortunately. But I do have Dara, who I'm actually glad I have on this week, especially since they managed to keep a certain loose forward quiet this weekend. Dara, how are you doing, man?
Jesus, it's the best I felt in a while, boy. I tell you that. It's the
Yeah,
best I felt in a while. I tell you that now. Oh, I enjoyed
actually.
that one.
Later on, I'll have a picture that I'm calling right now the picture of the year. But yeah, we'll look a little bit closer at that picture in a few. But yeah, let's get into it and everything. Like I said, welcome back to this episode and thank you for joining us again. But yes, starting off, let's look at the results, being the result that we were kind of just talking now. For every 2 points, 1 point was scored. 21
Ah,
42.
glorious,
That
glorious day.
that was glorious. I mean, every South African person, we don't like the name Pollock. If you
Yeah,
follow
well, look,
cricket, we love the name Pollock because we had Sean Pollock, who was one of our top all-rounders in cricket, for those of you who do follow the game. But the Henry Pollock, South Africa does not like Henry Pollock.
no. I actually find his antics good for the game. I do like characters, but again, he makes it so when you beat him, it is glorious.
It's so
I
much
like him.
sweeter.
I like him as a neutral, but yeah, I absolutely wanted to ruin his first test start. And man alive, did we do that? Brilliant
Yeah.
from minute one to minute 80. Just like I know we had these famous wins. We won down in South Africa. We beat you in the World Cup. We won down in New Zealand. We won the Grand Slam. That's as good as any, if not better, because you're beating England away, the old enemy by 21, the biggest ever away win we've recorded at England. And yeah, I mean, vindication for picking Crowley, vindication McCluskey, man alive. He is an app when he when he caught
Took out
Marcus
Smith.
Smith. Yeah,
Yes.
uh, that was
Another player I
glorious.
was so happy that you guys managed to keep quiet was Marcus Smith.
Yeah, Balakoon, fantastic.
Or
I mean, you could just that that back row.
Balakoon.
He's got
Yes.
wheels, man. He's got gas. Like if he wasn't so injury prone, he'd have probably 30 caps. Um,
I'm actually glad he's
who
getting
else?
he's getting the nod right now. He deserves it.
Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, it looks
uh,
like he out Lowe's out for a while. So there's
yeah. That looks
definitely
like
opportunity for him.
although O'Brien came in and was excellent, a lot better than what he was against France. The back row, Byrne, Doris, Van der Fleer, Doris. Finally, I didn't hear him really mouthing off to the ref, and he played 10 times better. Turnovers, big tackles. He got involved in everything. He was involved in a lot of the attacking moves. Ty Byrne, man, he's just he like the video of him when he turned over one of the English players and he's roaring and laughing before the maul is even complete. That was glorious. Who at McCarthy much improved on the first two games. James Ryan much improved on the first two games. Yeah, I mean, not Gibson Park. When he plays like that, you know, there's very few players who can do what he do when he plays like that, and he was absolutely brilliant. And as I
Yeah.
said, Crowley, I was very impressed with. But yeah, like the whole team, and then you look at the England team, and you say how many of them were as poor as I've seen them, or you've ever seen them. You
I
know
think I saw the
how?
ratings out of 10, like five of them got two or something like that. They got
Yeah,
crucified.
like Cowan Dickey, right? He's not good enough for this level. He's not. His line out isn't good enough for it, and his tackle technique again. There's a like I don't know how that guy doesn't get sent off every game. The amount of no arms tackles he makes is ludicrous. Ford, like they need to start Finn Smith. Like England kicked a lot less in this game, which can work if you have a running 10 like Finn Smith is. George Ford is not that guy. You can't do all he can do is percentages and bottom kicks up. He is not able for anything else. Arundel, anonymous. Freddie Stewart got hooked after 37 minutes after getting a yellow. Um, yeah, like the whole England team really were anonymous. Like, obviously, it's great to be part of it. You can't just blame it 20-year-old at eight. You have to look at the fact the whole team were poor. Even players I really rate, like Alex Mitchell was terrible. Tom Curry couldn't get into the game. So,
Now, interesting.
yeah, back
You
to the
said
drawing
Tom
board.
Curry. After the one try, there was the actually it was actually when Pollock got the yellow card. There was a question about the head contact. Now, Tom Curry for me was on his knees when Furlong hit him. So one, you either have to look at it. Curry was either off his feet going into a ruck, or there was a high contact. So therefore, I think the right decision was made from a neutral that it was just a rugby
Yeah,
incident because Curry was
yeah,
down on his knees. He wasn't supporting his own weight.
yeah. But I thought like he also dropped before that. I think like yeah, obviously I didn't want it to be given. Like you feel they're harsh when they're given. Like you have to, as you say, have some reminiscence for rugby incidents. Not all head contact is foul play.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like as you said, maybe I'm biased. I thought the referee made the right decision. I actually thought Broussard had probably his best game as a ref. I've seen him. I don't watch much of the top 14, but in general, I think he was good. Granted, I don't think the ref really matters because Ireland were just so dominant that it didn't really matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
like as I said, the whole England team, they need to start looking at themselves. I know I won't go into too much overkill because they did win 12 in a row and then they've been pegged back and they've kind of been brought back to reality. Like I don't think England's run was all that but they bar one or two
But also,
games, it wasn't that special. Like when they beat the All Blacks at home, fair enough, and the two wins away in Argentina, a lot of their other games were kind of either they got extremely fortunate or they were playing crap teams. So I think, you
yeah,
know,
I was about to say they were playing like lower tier teams and everything, like the Japan. And I'm not saying Japan is terrible, but I mean when you're looking at tier one compared to that,
yeah, but
um,
I mean,
yeah.
like they are obviously a good team. I think they will bounce back. Like from this, whether this
Hopefully
is in
not
the
against
Six
South
Nations,
Africa.
whether this is in the six, I do still think that could be a great game because I do think England obviously showed their, like as I said, the All Blacks game when they just took New Zealand apart and when they beat Argentina in Argentina twice. But England seem to blow either very hot or very cold. There seems to be no middle ground. That's what England
Mm.
need to find. Be able to win, like South Africa can win with that middle ground. Ireland, with a bit of exception, but Ireland can be the decent team with that middle ground. France can do it. New Zealand can do it. England are either like extremely good, and you go, yeah, Jesus, this England team are great, or they blow extremely coldly, like they did it up in Edinburgh, and like they did against Ireland, where they just didn't get into the game, stupid disciplinary errors. So yeah, I think like as I said, England needs to find that kind of middle ground of being able to,
Yeah,
you know,
I
not play at
mean
100% to win.
England still has the opportunity to knock off France from the top there. Looking at the logs, however, doing so, Scotland also needs to still beat France, which is
Yeah,
the real issue,
yeah,
and with
yeah.
bonus points.
Yeah,
Um, I
we'll
mean,
actually move on to the Scotland game now because
yeah,
oh Wales like that so close yet so far. I mean, say what you like about Finn Russell. Finn Russell literally won that game for Scotland. He
that
creates
Darcy
two.
Graham try, the
Yeah,
quick kickoff.
Yeah, I see people complaining about that. There's no issue with that. That's both them. Literally, he doesn't see the ball and it goes over his head and bounces. He's like, oh no, I need to get to this. But Darcy Graham, man, he's got wheels. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
phenomenal player. But like Russell, he scores a try. He creates the first try from a pass, the split pass that breaks open the Welsh defence. And then as the third, Graham kick. And then Scotland rook over. Like Scotland are extremely fortunate that it was not anyone else that they played that badly against in the Six Nations. But Scotland, in the last few years, have had a habit of losing that type of game in that type of situation. So I think they can take the positives of they actually won it.
Right.
Wales, I, yeah, Wales, Costello is your 10. I like Dan Edwards. He's young. He's only 23. He'll get better. Like the attack looks so much sharper with Costello at 10. The goal kicking was better. The
A lot
general
more
in-play
fluid.
kicking was better. Yeah,
But I think I
as
was
you said.
listening to Warburton talk, and Warburton was saying what's really missing is a good 10. And he said the same thing. Dan Edwards is a good player, but he isn't that 10 that is kind of set in his way and gets the game going. And that is where they've been missing their main role. And I think Costello
Yeah,
just gave it to them and allowed the game to flow for Wales. I was actually worried for Scotland that Scotland were going to miss out on the game. Then, of course, there was the
yeah,
Darcy Graham try, and I was like, okay, cool. Now it looks like, and I knew that last 10 minutes could be dangerous for Wales, which it was, and that's where they lost it.
yeah. Well, I mean, Scotland do have a good mauling game. That's probably their best forwards attribute. They scored them all in Italy, and they
But
got one again.
their lineouts weren't that great. Their lineouts were actually letting them
No,
down.
that's the thing with Scotland is like the Glasgow line out maul game is the best in the URC, the best in Europe. Actually, statistically, they score more maul tries than anybody else. And when Scotland get their lineouts right, their maul game is very good. But the flip side, we saw it in Rome. In Rome, their lineout was terrible. That's probably why they lost that game. Against England, it was better. Again on Saturday, it was iffy. Like if they could only nail down that lineout, especially when they're in the opposition 22, I think they threw away at least two of their own lineouts in the Welsh 22 during that game. They threw away at least four against Italy. They could be a lot more dangerous if they just got that right. But I think the other positives for Scotland is Kinghorn looked very good when he came back. On the other side, Van der Merwe was awful. Um, he was
Van der Merwe
absolutely,
he was blocked and everything. I will say they played him very well. They didn't allow him to get much space, which made him look
yeah.
terrible.
Hamer
Skuman,
went to the drop on him. Yeah.
yeah, Skuman just he changed the scrums for Scotland. Um,
Yeah, I'd like to know what happened to Xander Fagerson because he played for the Lions and he looked exceptional before that, and he's getting beaten up in every scrum to Six Nations. I know
yeah,
like Reece Carey is a good scrummager, but Xander Fagerson, a Test Lion, should be able to hold him, and the fact he couldn't is concerning. Um, France actually don't have that great a scrum. I'll get onto that in a minute. But
yeah,
you know, with France's other attributes, if they get on top of Scotland in the scrum at Murrayfield, Scotland having a hope. At the very least, Scotland have to have parity in terms of they have to be level at the very least with France. Because if they lose the scrum with France's attacking backline talent, Scotland having a prayer. You can't rely on Russell and Hugh Jones and Tuipulotu to dig you out and win you every game. You're the forwards. I wouldn't even say the forwards because like Dempsey's been good in this tournament. I know he was out on Saturday. Rory Dard won man of the match again. He's a phenomenal player. But their tight five need to up it, especially at scrum time, if they want
yeah,
to win the tournament. Maybe not win the tournament. I don't think Scotland will, even if they were to beat France. I think the big game for Scotland is Ireland. Scotland haven't won the Triple Crown since 1990. 36 years They haven't won the Triple Crown. They have a great
But
chance to go to Ireland in Dublin. If they beat us in Dublin, they'll win the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown, I know you're South African. It is actually quite a big thing. Ireland won a rake of them in the mid 2000s, and it was like this big thing. Uh, we probably value them a bit less now because we won nine in 24 years. Um, but in general, like to win the Triple Crown would be massive for Scotland. It will be it's an actual trophy. It's not like the Calcutta Cup, you win one game. So I think that has to be Scotland's aim. That has to be a cup final for Scotland. It would get rid of the Irish hoodoo and
don't forget,
to
if you beat
get a
Scotland, you're
trophy.
also the linear world champions at that point.
No, no, because they play France first, so they'd have to beat France as well.
Well, okay, if they beat France, you could be the linear
Yeah.
world
Whereas,
champs.
yeah, if they beat like if it could be two cup finals because if Scotland beat France, which is I've seen stranger things happen than Scotland beating France in Edinburgh. They'll go into the final game. They could possibly be ahead of France, but it could very easily be they win in Dublin, they win the Six Nations.
I
So,
think
like they do
for you guys,
treat these.
yeah, I think for you guys, if Scotland wins, that is dangerous for you. But we will cover that a little bit more later
Yeah,
on because that is still yet to come. Um, but yeah, France taking on Italy. Like I said before we started recording, Italy, they look good, and then that final push is just where they lost. And when they got that yellow card for Liner, they France just put the nail in the coffin and ended the run
yeah.
there for them.
Like,
Unfortunately, I was expecting a little bit more from Italy, but unfortunately, they didn't pitch up.
yeah. Well, what I would say is, Curbs, like I was disappointed with Italy in the first 15 minutes. They looked too open. You can't be that
Yeah,
open against this French side. You have to hit this French side up front, where their scrum is not that powerful. The Italian scrum is powerful, and the Italians had them at scrum time. They messed up one or two chances, Italy, and then France raced into that lead, and it looked like Italy were going to get an absolute walloping. And then Ramos, out of what I would think to be arrogance, pretty much gives Italy a try. And yeah, you could see it in the second half. Like it was 19-8 at half time. It was 19-8 after 17. I could see it. It was panning on Dupont and the camera was panning on some of the French forwards. They looked angry that Italy just would not go away. France were on their line, I think, four times and didn't score. That's nearly unheard of with the French side this year, with how clinical they've been. And then, yeah, Line gets a yellow, a stupid yellow. And yeah, that's it. I mean, France running two tries makes the scoreline look better. But
yeah,
I think they'll be incredibly frustrated because against Ireland and Wales, they had the game won at half time. They really had to dig in for 70 minutes against this Italian side because it was a case of with even 10 minutes to go, Italy scored a try. There was 4 points in it. France couldn't switch off. They switched off against Ireland. They switched off against Wales. This was it had to be 80 minutes for France. But they
yeah,
will be happy. They did win. They did score over 30 points again. Just
yeah. They
BAB
played three,
array
and
is
they got 3 bonus points. If you see, they are on the log right now.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, like BAB array, the pace of that guy is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't like I'd love to see him and Colby have a sprint side by side. Obviously, maybe not Colby now, but Colby of 5, 6 years ago.
yeah,
Man alive.
it's
Like
almost like
Colby is small.
he's a French what Will Jordan just finds the try
Yeah.
line.
And they're like two of my favorite players because like obviously they're big guys, but they're not animal like Colby, you could tell like he's got arms the size of my head, if not bigger. Like these two guys, they're not that big by rugby standards, but they're just so quick that it actually doesn't matter. Whereas Colby was his step and his power and the fact he could literally I would not be surprised. He thrown into lineouts and all. The guy was ridiculously talented. But these two,
But
as you said,
do you know who Wade van Niekerk is?
no.
He's a South African 400-meter sprinter. That is Colby's cousin.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's
running is in the
running.
family.
Yeah, But like obviously Colby was also ridiculous, and Arenza is another one. That guy is Grease Lightning. But yeah, what I say as I like about Jordan and BAB is they don't look like rugby players, but man alive can they score. I mean, BAB has got 24 tries and 25 caps. That's not bad. He's less than 20 off the French record after 25 caps.
Yeah,
Not bad.
but I mean, yeah, but ending this half of the Six Nations, we have France on top with 3 out of 3 and 3 bonus points, giving them 15. Scotland 3 out of 2 with 1 loss with 3 bonus points, giving them 11. Then Ireland sitting with 2 wins as well out of 3, but with only 1 bonus point, giving them 9 points. England and Italy are equal with 1 win and 2 losses and 1 bonus point. However, England is above on points difference with 5, and Wales getting their first point this weekend with that bonus points loss against Scotland. So everybody's got points, but it's obviously not where the points are wanted. But what I will say is currently the picture of the year.
Yeah, as I said, I
Pollock
like
doesn't
Pollock.
even.
He's the type of guy you love to beat. He's the type of guy you love to beat, and that's a good picture. That's an enjoyable one.
His face just, he looks like he doesn't know what's happening right there. But yeah, uh, as I said, right now, that's the picture of the year for me. It's not the picture of the year. But yeah, but moving on to this week, we also, one game that we did have was Lions up against the Sharks, where the Lions beat the Sharks 34-22. I actually didn't watch that game, but
Neither did I.
from what I saw was the Sharks were very clinical. Oh, not Sharks, Lions were very clinical against the Sharks,
Yeah, well, that's a
giving
big
them,
win for the Lions, isn't it? I mean, like, as soon
yeah,
as the Sharks, you actually cannot ride it. They look like the Springboks when JP Peterson is on a temporary contract. They offer him the full contract. First game up, they lose. Like,
yeah.
it is actually something you cannot ride with them. But yeah, the Lions, if they want to get into the top eight, that's a big win for them. They needed that.
And I see the Sharks are missing from this. Oopsie daisy. But the Sharks, as far as I know,
Yeah,
are sitting eighth.
The
Yeah,
Lions are missing.
uh,
The Sharks are 10th. Yeah,
yeah,
the Lions are
yeah,
in 25.
yeah. So I mean, it's still keeping them in the loop. But of course, this weekend we go back to the URC, starting off with Cardiff at, I mean, hosting Leinster. Um, yeah,
I I
Cardiff.
think I think Leinster will win, but that will be tight because Cardiff are very difficult to beat and they're very good at home. But I think Leinster will just about squeeze out that. I think Leinster by 4.
Yeah, I think Leinster will take it. It's going to be a hard game for Cardiff. We know Cardiff can be very difficult in the URC, and like you said, Leinster probably won't have their full strength team because the guys are
No.
still resting from Six Nations. But then the likes of, I
Yeah,
think Archeus Neyman's back, and then there's Rico Arni in the team as well. So
Slimani is there. Yeah, they like as I
yeah,
said, they probably will win, but I think Cardiff will make it difficult because Cardiff just make it difficult for everybody to beat them.
yeah. Then Edinburgh is hosting Scarlets. Scarlets we have seen win a few games at the end of the last section. So Scarlets can give Edinburgh a run for their money. We've also seen
Yeah.
Edinburgh has been slipping. They haven't been clinical with their games. So
Yeah, that's a difficult one because Edinburgh are so inconsistent. The team they have, they should be beating the Scarlets comfortably at home, but I actually think I'm going to go for an upset here. I'm going to go for a
same.
Scarlets away win. I think Edinburgh are too poor for the team
Splish splash.
they field. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like
Then of course we have the Lions hosting the Stormers. Lions, of course, having the benefit of playing this past weekend compared to us. But I do think the Stormers are, from what I've been reading and everything from the camps, from the Stormer side, they do look like they are now switched on and they're saying they're on a different gear. We will have to
Yeah,
wait and see what happens this weekend. But I am going to go with the Stormers, probably because I am a Stormers fan, and I got my signed Stormers jersey today, so I'm pretty stoked.
yeah, yeah. I'm
um,
going to agree with you. I think the Stormers look at the two games against the Sharks. They've had a few weeks to cease and let that hurt simmer in them. They can go back top if they win. If Glasgow lose as well, I think they will win. I think they'll win quite comfortably as well. I think Stormers by 16.
yeah. And then, of course, we've got the Bulls, who've also have turned around a bit as well this in their current form. But
Yeah,
they're going up against the Sharks, who have been quite clinical lately. Again, Sharks do have the benefit of the fact that they played this weekend, though they didn't win. Um, but I'm probably going to have to go with the Bulls. There seems to be some excitement coming through there, which I'll cover a little bit later, which is probably working in their favor. And the fact that Ackerman looks like he has been working with the guys. Again, it could be one-sided from the media that I've been reading from them, but I do have to kind of say that the Bulls look like they are going to take it. I know they also
yeah,
want to stop the Sharks from winning the Shield, and they have to do that by beating the Sharks this weekend.
yeah. I think they will beat the Sharks. I think it'll be close. It'll be difficult. I think the Sharks will put up a fight, but it's in the high veld in Pretoria, and Bulls probably do have that little bit more attacking quality than the Sharks. So I'll go
Yeah,
Bulls narrowly enough in a high scoring game.
yeah. Then, of course, at the same time, we have Connacht hosting Glasgow. Connacht have also been a bit splashy up there, Cork. Glasgow, we do know, are very clinical, though they are missing a few of their prime players because, again, Six Nations.
Yeah,
So you won't see the likes of Stade, Tuipulotu, uh,
yeah. You
Jones,
like they have the
Darcy.
vast majority of that Scotland team. Like,
Yeah. But this could
yeah, I
be the
think this
chance
is a
that
game.
Connacht could take it.
Yeah, I think Connacht have to win this game really if they want to get into the top eight. They're not missing
Yeah.
that many players. Glasgow are missing a hell. Like Munster lost away at Glasgow. Munster were missing 15. Glasgow are missing 18. Connacht, I think, are missing five or six through injury, and Beelum isn't there, but they should be. They should have enough. In
But isn't
Galway, they
Aki
should have
also
enough to beat
back?
Galway.
Isn't Aki
Yeah, I
back
think
this
he was
weekend?
released. Yeah, he is. Yeah, his suspension's over. Whether Ireland keep him in camp or release him back to Connacht, I don't know. But yeah, he should be eligible to play. So yeah, I think Connacht by five or six. I think
Listen,
Glasgow's the next good one.
if he is going to play the last two games, I think this is the time that Ireland has to say go and play because you haven't been playing for about a month or so like that. Go,
Yeah, and I don't think Aki's going to get back into the squad anyway because McCluskey's playing so well. So
yeah. Then, of
yeah,
course, at
I
the
think
same time, we have the Dragons hosting Benetton. Now, Dragons are missing a few of their top players in the Welsh squad, but we know Benetton's basically the Italian squad in a sense as well. So, how it goes down, I do actually see Benetton taking this one.
yeah. I mean, the Dragons have improved immensely, and they should have beaten Munster a few weeks back. But yeah, I think that like form is temporary. I think this break came at the worst possible time for the Dragons, and I think yeah, Benetton will beat them.
Yeah. Then, of course, at the same time, we have your team hosting Zebra. I do have to go with your team, Munster, beating Zebra. Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean we have a few with Ireland, but in general we're getting a lot of the injured guys back. And yeah, Zebra have improved, but they've not improved enough to a point where they should be beating us in Limerick. Gonna have to
yeah.
go Munster by a fairly concise. We should be getting a bonus point win out of this. Let's be quite frank.
Now, Ulster has a few missing players, but the bulk of the team is still with them against
Yeah,
Ospreys. We are going to be missing the likes of Dewey Lake, uh, Jack Morgan, Moriarty,
Adam Beard,
Dan
yeah,
Edwards.
Adam Beard, Dan, yeah. I can't. I think there's issues with the Ospreys, and the fact is, like, the guys who are going to be most severely affected are playing. It can go two ways. You could fire them up, and they could go away and batter all before them. But I think it could have the opposite effect. I mean, these guys had 3 weeks to rest on, and they're trying to sort out their professional future. Very difficult to play rugby in those circumstances. I think Ulster will win.
Yeah, but I mean, also we have to give it to Munsters right now. I mean, not Munster, Ulster with their the way that they've been playing and coached is phenomenal right
Richie
now.
Murphy
And
is the best head coach in Ireland, I would say, out of the four provinces, more than
but I think
Cullen, Lancaster,
with
or McMillan.
and Mike Sexton as well has done a
Yeah,
fantastic job with the attacking side there.
he's a
But
very,
yeah,
very good attack coach.
like we said, number 8 is the Lions. But yeah, it's getting pretty close to the time where we can start predicting who's in the top 7 or the top 8. Uh,
Yeah, well,
though it's still quite close between 10
yeah,
and
yeah,
7.
1 to 6, and yeah, like 1 to 6. I think the six of them should finish in the top eight at least.
Yeah,
I would think Cardiff might drop back, and maybe the Bulls might go above them, but I think the other five will make up the top five. I think Glasgow, Leinster, and the Stormers will probably make up the top three. So I think it will be between Ulster and Munster for fourth, and they'll play each other either in Belfast or Limerick, depending on who gets fourth. So
yeah,
I think it's interesting. It all depends on runnings. I don't know teams runnings off the top of my head. It all depends on who's playing who on the running. I know we still have to go
yeah,
down to South Africa, uh, whereas Leinster and Ulster don't. I think Glasgow still have to go down to South Africa, and the Stormers have to
yeah.
come up here and have to play
Our
Ulster
last,
away,
yeah, our last
which,
home game is against Glasgow for the
yeah,
season.
that could be a cracker. And then the Stormers will have to come up to play Ulster, as I said. Yeah, there's still some huge, huge games. Like Ulster have to come down to Limerick as well. So there is some huge games left, huge points on the table available for all those kind of big six sides. And then, yeah, as I said, the other two,
Yeah,
I would expect the Bulls will finish in the top eight. I can't see, I think they're too much probably not to. And
yeah.
then, yeah, that's seven, I would argue. Yeah, Benetton, Connacht, Ospreys, Lions, any of them would finish in that last spot.
And yeah. Oh,
Um,
but we'll keep our eye on that closer to the time. But now for some transfer news that's broken here in South Africa. Um, Springbok star could be going to the Cheetahs. Um, Possibility. Apparently, some big businessmen have helped the Cheetahs get out financial issues and put some money with some third-party people paying his salary. He could be back home at the Cheetahs. And
yeah,
the
well,
Bulls have officially replaced Arendse with Dylan Mart, and I thought we had him.
yeah. Well, I heard, yeah, Marsh is rated quite highly in South Africa, so that's a good nick for the Bulls. The Clerk, yeah. Well, I suppose why not? It's a good thing for the Shield, it'll probably get a bit of revenue in, might get a couple of fans in. The guy did win World Cup starting at nine twice. What did he start in the second final as well?
Mm,
I can't be. He definitely started in the
yes.
19. Yeah, so he's got
Yeah.
two World Cup starting winners medals. So I can't see why. I can see why the Cheetahs have gone in for him, even though he's definitely past his pomp.
Front Stain and Ron Pino apparently helped with that whole. Well, they
Yeah,
helped him with
well,
that whole idea.
yeah, well, there's that fair play to them. I mean, that could be a bit of a driver for people to go into Bloemfontein in the Curry Cup or whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah.
Pienaar, Jesus, if I was an Ulsterman, yeah, they love him up there. So
Yeah.
Ruben Pienaar is
So
really an Ulsterman. He's an honorary Ulsterman.
yeah. But I mean that's some of the news. But I mean also thinking about now, Mart going to the Bulls in a long term idea for him is probably a good idea with the fact that we're looking at getting Colby back and a couple other guys that will put him further down the pecking order.
Yeah,
I
well, I
think for
suppose
him
the other thing
it's
about the Bulls is obviously the Stormers are a better team. The Bulls is a winger's dream because they seemingly don't defend at times, and their attack is very good. So they are just about the best rugby for a winger, where it doesn't matter if you miss a tackle because every single one of the Bulls players misses 25 tackles a game anyway, it seems at times.
sorry, Crispy.
And yeah, and you just get to run in, you just get to run in free tries. So I mean, I can't, if I was a winger and the Bulls rang me, I'd be more than willing to go down there and just
Yeah.
feed on the good bits. And if you miss tackles, well, they concede 60 points to Bristol anyway. So
You do know I'm probably gonna get a phone call later from my buddy Crispy, who's a huge Bull supporter. He's gonna tell me what to tell you straight. He's probably gonna tell me how to tell it to you in French, Afrikaans, English, you name it. You'll tell me how to tell you where you can go put the sun where it don't shine.
I can imagine. I'd like to see the sun somewhere though, so tell him that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, for the past 54 days, it's been raining in Ireland. My wife would love it.
Yeah,
But yes, uh, yeah. But I mean, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your views, what you think about what we've said, some of the things. Let us know if you thought that picture that I put of Henry Pollock was the picture of the year, or if you have another picture that you like.
McCluskey tackling Smith's touch. That's my picture of the year. I don't think anything will beat that.
Uh, if you think something like that, put it in the comments. Let us see it. If you guys put it in the comments, I'll put it up next week and say this is our viewers um what you call it, pick of the year. We would like to know. Otherwise, you can find us on Facebook as well, and let us know there. Also on Twitter or X. So yeah, let us know what you think about those kind of things because we do like to hear what you say. And according to that bet that the guys were making, Crispy said no, please no. He doesn't want to see that on the internet.
Nobody does. Yeah, nobody does.
So yeah, so I'm playing music now all of a sudden. Uh, but yes. But anyway, guys, Dara, thank you very much for joining me today. Fellow
No matter,
champions, we're not so dodgy this week that I had to edit a whole bunch out.
man.
I spent an hour, 2 hours going through the last 10 minutes
Yeah,
just to make
the
sure.
the last files of that has probably saved my relationship. So we'll take that and we'll move on.
Yeah. But anyway, fellow champions, go well, be safe, and thank you very much for watching and listening. Have a good one. Bye.